We are talking about identifying and naming 3D figures. Okay, dealing with surface area and volume. So we want to tell whether a solid or our figure is a polyhedron. Can anyone tell me what a polyhedron is, or what makes up a polyhedron? We're used to hearing the word poly with what word? Polygon. Okay, what does polygon mean? What does a polygon have to be a polygon? Sides, right? Straight sides. Can it have curves? No. Okay, so can a polyhedron have curves? No. A polyhedron is a solid that is made up of different polygons. So triangles, rectangles, all the way up to our dodecagon. Okay, so looking at A, is A a polyhedron? Why, yes. Because it has sides and it's made up of polygons. What kind of polygons are involved? What different shapes are involved? There's triangle, what else? Rectangle, okay. What's the correct term for four-sided shape? Quadrilateral, yep. Okay, on A, now we have to talk about the difference between prisms, pyramids. That's it, prisms and pyramids. What's the difference between prisms and pyramids? Okay, you're on the right track. Is A prism or a pyramid? Well, yeah, it is a prism. Why do we say prism? It does not go to a point. It has a bunch of different bases and a bunch of different edges. What is an edge? What do I mean by edge? Think sides. I heard it. Sides. Okay, so naming these, we want to name it off of the base, what it's sitting on. Okay, the base is a triangle. Why is it not a square or a rectangle or a quadrilateral? Some people would say it is, but why is it not? You're right, that base shape is right here, and its other corresponding sides here. Why can our base not be that rectangle that's right in front of us? Right, because you cannot flip it and have it be the same thing. Okay, so our base is that triangle there. So what would this be called? What is the name? The base is a triangle and it's a prism. Triangular prism. Yep, that's its name. Get to know these names. Everyone write it down. Triangular prism. Okay, so its name comes from its base. Okay. Another thing we need to look at is how many faces does it have? What do I mean by face? How many basically shapes does it have? How many sides does it have? Okay, so how many bases does it have? Has 2. That's the top and the bottom. Now work your way around. How many sides or walls are around? 3. Add those together. We have 5 faces. I always start with the faces being the bases and then work your way around. Okay? Now what about edges? What are edges? The sides, right? So right here would be an edge, this would be an edge, this would be an edge, so on and so forth. Okay? So our bases, how many edges does each base have? How many sides does it have? 3. 3 and 3 is 6. Now we got to count around. How many sides are around? 3. So we have a total of 9 edges. Okay, those are the 4 different things we're looking for today, is getting to know those different vocab terms. Okay, we want to answer those same 4 questions. Okay, first, is it a polyhedron? No, why not? Good. Because it has a circle, it's curved, so it cannot be a polyhedron. Okay, now what's its name? First off, what's its base shape? A circle, but is this a prism or a pyramid? No, this has its own name. It is a cylinder. It has 2 circles as its bases. Okay, now we have to ask ourselves, how many faces does it have?
2.
It does have 2. Why does it not have more than 2? Right, because this, can I count this right here as a face? No, because it's rounded all the way around. Okay, how many edges does it have? 0. Why 0? There's no solid edges. It's not a polyhedron, so it does not have edges. So this has 0 edges. Okay, those are the 4 different things we're looking at today. Any questions on those? Okay, look at the next diagram on your next slide. First, what do we ask ourselves first? If it's a polyhedron, yes or no? Why yes? It has edges, yep, and it's made up of polygons. Okay, now we got to figure out what its name is. What do we look for when we're trying to name the solid? We look at the base. Okay, base is what it's sitting on. What's the shape of that base? It is a hexagon. It has 6 sides, so we have the name hexagon. Now we need to decide, is it a prism or a pyramid? Why is it a pyramid? It goes to a like vertex or a point. Okay, so this would be called a hexagonal pyramid. Yep, hexagonal pyramid. Good. It's a polyhedron and we have its name. Now we got to figure out what? How many faces it has. Start with the base. How many bases are there? Pyramid has 1 base, so that's 1 face. Now work your way around. How many faces are around the outside? 6. 1 plus 6. We have 7 faces. And then what's the last thing we got to look for? Edges. Okay, start with the base. How many edges does the base have? How many sides? It has 6. Okay, now work your way around. How many sides or edges does the round part have? 6. 6 plus 6? 12. So we have 12 edges. Questions so far? Okay. Now I want you to go ahead and try and draw it. Draw it. Okay, you're going to start. It wants a triangular prism. So what is the base shape of this prism? Triangle. How many bases does a prism have? 2. So that's why in step 1 right here it starts with 2 triangles on top of each other. Go ahead and try and draw that yourself right next to it. Okay, so you start with those 2 base shapes that we got from the name triangular prism. Okay, now since it's a prism, we got to make its edges and its walls. Okay, so connect all of those corresponding vertices. What it means by corresponding is it's like vertices. Is it looking like a prism? Okay, now that last step is not required, okay? But they make it fancy. They say erase all those lines that you wouldn't see. Does that make sense? So if I held this up, if you're looking right here, you can't really see what's behind on the other side, right? But you know it's there. That's why they're erasing those different lines that are hidden, okay? To get that 3D effect. Okay, good. Any questions on drawing them? We're not going to spend a lot of time on that, but that helped us understand what the name is and where it comes from. Okay? Go ahead and try these 3 examples. Okay? Go through those 4 steps. Is it a polyhedron? What's its name? How many faces? And how many edges? Go through those 4 steps with each one of those. Back up here, number 1. Is number 1 a polyhedron? Yes. Why? Because it has faces, it has edges, and it is made up of polygons. Okay? Next question is, what's its name? To get its name, what do we look for? Look at if it's a prism or if it's a pyramid. Okay? What do we look for the specific name? The base, right? Look for that base shape. What is our base shape? Careful. It is a triangle. Okay, so triangular. Now we need to decide if it's a prism or a pyramid. What is it? It is a prism. Okay. Now, how many faces does it have? Start with the bases. How many bases are there? 2. And now work your way around. Yep, 3. So we have 5 faces. And now, how many edges? Start with the bases. How many edges does each base have? 3. We have 2 of them, so we have 6. Work your way around. We have 3 more, so we have 9 edges. Good. Awesome. The biggest thing I'm looking for is this part right here, the name. Understanding what it is, okay, and understanding what kind of polyhedron it is. Okay. Number 2, polyhedron, yes or no? No, why not? Because a circle. Circle is a dead giveaway. Okay. What's its name? It is a cone. Yep. If it has a base shape, excuse me, of a circle, it has a specific name to it. Okay. How many faces does it have? It has 1 face, that base shape. How many edges does it have? 0, right? Circle does not have an edge. Good. Questions? Okay, number 3. Polyhedron, yes or no? Yes. Why yes? It has faces, it has edges, and it's made up of shapes, polygons. Good. Okay, what about the name? What do we look for when we look for the name? The base. What's it sitting on? Okay, I want us to get in the habit of saying rectangular prism. Or if you put quadrilateral, that's fine. However, is it a prism? No, what is it? Pyramid. Why is it a pyramid? Comes to a point. What's the biggest difference between 3 and 1? One's a prism, one's a pyramid. How can I tell the difference? What's the major difference? The big point. Yep. Good. Okay, now how many faces does it have? First off, how many bases are there? 1. Now work your way around. 4. 1 plus 4? 5 faces. Lastly, what do we look for? Edges. How many edges does the base have? 4. Work your way around. Yep. 8 altogether. Good. Like I said, biggest thing I want us to understand is the name. Okay, and if it's a polyhedron or not. Okay, what's the figure called of a basketball? Sphere. Yep. Same thing. Soccer ball is a sphere. Okay. Is a sphere a polyhedron? No. How many faces does it have? 0. It does not have a face. It is one solid thing. Okay. Does it have any edges? No. Okay, so it's just a sphere. What's another specific 3D figure called? Think 3D. What is it if all the sides are the same square? A cube. Yep. All sides of a cube are exactly the same. It's made up of the same shape on all of its faces. Okay, good. Any questions before I let you work? Okay.